I know some people quite like a higher driving position than normal, but I've spent a bit of time with the GLA45 AMG now, and I'm kind of struggling to get it, to be honest, because all this car seems to offer, instead of the really just excellent ordinary A45 AMG, which I ran for quite a few months and just loved to pieces because it's just the maddest hot hatch there is, all this thing offers over and above the regular A45 AMG is 40mm of extra driving position height and a slightly bigger boot. And when I say slightly, I really do mean about that much. And that's it. And yet, it doesn't drive anywhere near as crisply as the A45. It doesn't handle as well because it weighs more and the centre of gravity is higher. It doesn't go as well because it's heavier. And yet, it's 44.5 grand. And I'm afraid, through these eyes, it doesn't look a patch on the regular hatchback either. Having said all of that though, if you drive this thing in isolation, if you completely ignore the fact that the A45 AMG exists in the first place, you would get into this and think a little part of the universe had begun to end, because it's still got the 355 bhp 2-litre turbo engine under that rather high and very ugly bonnet, which means when you put your foot down, it's still properly fast. It has the same 7-speed dual clutch gearbox in it, which, to be honest, is one of the A45's weaker points, and it's no better in this car. It's okay, it works pretty well, but it doesn't have the snap that a proper dual clutch gearbox should have. And it handles, I mean, have a look at this. I'm driving this thing quite hard and it just leans, it hangs on. Yes, there is a bit of understeer. Yes, you need to give the brakes a decent prod to get it to slow down. But, I mean, okay, this is 115 miles an hour banked corner here, and it just feels stuck. There's a little bit of push. That's just engineered in to make it feel safe, basically. But this thing really handles, and it really goes, and it sounds great too. This test car's got the sports exhaust on it, so you get the proper parts when you upshift, which I think's great, but quite how relevant that is in a sort of mini SUV, I really don't know. It is a proper hodgepodge of a car, the GLA45 AMG, and I just can't really get my head around who would actually buy one and why they'd buy one instead of an A45 AMG. No, me baffled. So let's see if I can make any more sense of it by going off-road, and I don't know, is that why you'd buy one of these things, just so you can sort of go through a muddy field in it? Let's go and try. Let's just see if it can do off-roading at all. That's not bad. That's not bad at all, actually. I mean, this is very far from the most challenging off-road course in the universe. However, I have to say that this is probably another thing that the GLA, another talent, another capability that the GLA has that the A45 doesn't. I don't reckon you get an A45 through there. Wow. It's just got that, I mean, it's got 20-inch wheels, normal road tyres, but 20-inch wheels and that little bit more ground clearance and the driving position, I guess, and you do just feel as if you can go through quite rough terrain like this, and it's actually really not that much of a problem at all. And I genuinely don't think you'd get an A45 around this course without either getting a terrible puncture, a huge great hole in the radiator, or just stuck. it's actually not bad off-road, this thing. No, I mean, you're not going to suddenly turn up at some off-roading school wearing your camouflage trousers, smoking rollies and saying, right, let's go up the side of Everest or anything like that. But it will do off-roading, and I'm quite impressed with that. I've just noticed something else it's got instead of an A40, in place of an A45 as well, and that's this sunroof. But okay, what we're talking about is a bit of off-road capability, a sunroof, a slightly higher driving position, and a millimetrically bigger boot, and that's it. Otherwise, give me an A45 AMG any day of any week.